Hi everyone, Ryan from RLD Investments here, bringing you another fight preview and analysis. As always, you can check us out here and also rldinvestments.com. So we'll post up all the videos, articles. You can sign up for our free picks. Got the NFL season coming up. You're going to want to make sure you get in on that. We'll send those out to your email. And also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. So this fight here, we got Floyd Mayweather versus Marcos Maidana, a rematch, September 13th. Going to be taking place out in Las Vegas again. Floyd doesn't usually give rematches. Last time he did, actually only one other time in his career, it was against Jose Luis Castillo many years ago. And he won the rematch much more convincingly than he won the first fight. The reason he gave that, kind of like this, the first fight was a little bit disputed in that one. And there's some people who feel the same way about this one. So first off, let me just say this before we get into any details, before we break down the film, before we do anything else. Just a general statement. The rematch is definitely going to favor Mayweather. Okay, and that's because of the styles. He's a defensive and a counterpunching master. And those are two things that you're going to get better with the more you see a guy. So as soon as they come out in round one, you can see Maidana is able to land that big right hand on him. But by the time round 12 rolls around, Mayweather's in firm control. Because it's at that point that he already saw the angles, the speed. He saw how Maidana moves. He saw the way he punches, the tempo. Once he gets all that, then he's just able to basically crack the code. Okay, he's like a master safe cracker. Once he's got that code, that's it, it's over. And it's like that in all his fights. And that's how come usually when you watch him, any success that a guy has is usually going to be early on. And then as the later rounds go on, he's able to just figure everything out, take control, and just easily coast to a victory. A lot of times it almost looks like a glorified sparring match. Guys moving a little bit faster, but that's how in control he is of it. So let's go ahead and let's break down the film here. The first key to victory for Floyd Mayweather in this fight is going to be to stay off the ropes. Maidana only saw limited success in their first fight, and all of that success came when they were against the ropes. I mean, let's be honest with each other here. Mayweather's going to have the advantage no matter where this fight takes place, but his advantage is going to be greatest when they're fighting at distance in the middle of the ring. I mean, Floyd really only gets caught with a big shot one time in his fight, and that's early on when they're against the ropes before he's able to figure out the angles. But after that, he made it look easy. You can see he comes off the ropes and gets caught with that big right hand, and it catches him high in the head by his temple, and it causes him to lose his equilibrium for a second, and afterwards Maidana is able to get in some solid work. But for the rest of the fight, when they're in the middle of the ring, Mayweather makes it look easy. I mean, he's never in trouble throughout the whole fight. Maidana's only able to land pot shots here and there, and it's never anything that can do any real damage. After the fight, Mayweather said that he went to the ropes a little bit more than he would have liked, and you can see why he would say that, because it wasn't necessary. Because whenever he had him in the middle of the ring, he made it look easy. I mean, he was able to consistently beat Maidana to the punch, and he was able to avoid his attacks. With the hand speed, foot speed, upper body movement, he's just able to make it look easy. It's hard for Maidana to even compete at that point. Second key to victory for him is going to be to go to the body. Now, I worked the body great in the first fight, and it made a big contribution to Maidana slowing down in those later rounds. Maidana's got a game plan that's built on pressure and outworking Floyd. So wearing him down with solid body work early is something that Mayweather's going to want to do. Now, he's not thought of as a devastating body puncher like a Miguel Cotto or a young Roberto Duran, but he can work the body extremely well when he wants to. I mean, let's take a look back here all the way at his first fight. Professional debut. Mayweather comes in, lands a devastating left hook, and that's it. End of the fight. No getting up from that one. Now, the body work that Floyd was able to do against Maidana obviously wasn't quite as dramatic as that, but he was still able to put in some solid work. See, here he is landing a jab to the body, right uppercut from in close. Now, Floyd's a big believer in going downstairs because it's like putting money in the bank. When you go downstairs early, it just gets more valuable as time goes on because all that body work makes it difficult for Maidana to breathe in those later rounds. Those punches start to lose pop. His footwork becomes even more slow. And as you can see, it's not just the pot shots. Floyd's able to throw those body shots in the middle of combinations to keep him guessing. Look at the way he works those in there. Now, this one's particularly interesting. Look at the way Maidana tries to work the jab, and Floyd counters him with the body shot. Again, Maidana tries to come in with the jab. Floyd counters with a vicious body shot. Now, the last key to victory for Mayweather is going to be to stay busy. Now, Floyd's received a lot of criticism over the years for not quite being an action-type fighter, And against most fighters, he's able to do that. With those slick defensive skills and his sharp counterpunching, guys are just, they don't want to throw that much. So it's easy for Mayweather to just get into cruise control and win just a lackluster performance. He wasn't able to do that against Maidana because of the fact that Maidana just constantly comes in and applies pressure. Now, one of the ways that Floyd's going to want to stay busy is taking away the jab. Take a look here at how he does it against Angel Manfredi. Now, early in this fight, very first round, Floyd comes out, and right away he shows him what he's going to do. Second time Manfredi tries to throw that jab, he's all over him. Bang, right over the top with the right hand. Now look at the way he does it against Gotti here. It's different. He uses the left hook. Now Gotti tries to get anything going with the jab, and Floyd's right there. Throws that left hook, hooking him right off the jab, and it's immediately stopping all his progress. See, when you can stop a guy from using a jab, you break his rhythm up. Guys are taught from the first day they come in the gym to build everything off of the jab, that it's the most important fight out there. And as soon as you start taking those jabs away from a guy, it throws him off of his game. His rhythm's gone, the game plan's different, he never feels like he can quite get in the flow. You can see against Maidana, it's the same thing. He's coming right over the top with that right hand, he's throwing those left hooks, and he's just beating him up overall. The way Mayweather's able to take away his opponent's jabs is actually one of the best kept secrets to his game. Nobody ever really talks about it, but he's been doing it forever, and he's been doing it against almost everybody. And it allows him to get off what he wants to do, and he frees his opponents. Now, it should come as no surprise that two of the guys who saw the most success against Mayweather in the last 10 years, Miguel Cotto and Oscar De La Hoya, were able to land their jabs. Now, you can see Cotto here, the way he's able to come in, understands angles, understands distance. He's got a nice crisp jab. He's able to come in and he's able to connect with it. And he was able to do pretty well. Now, he wasn't able to do it solid throughout the whole night, but he did have some consistency. Look at the way he pivots there and uses angles, and he's able to connect. Up against the ropes here, look at how he understands distance, and he's able to land the jab with that. There's guys with faster hands who weren't able to land the kind of jabs that Cotto was against Mayweather. It's because of his skill level. And it's the same thing here against De La Hoya. Every time De La Hoya came out and decided to focus on throwing the jab, he was able to connect with it. When he was able to connect with that jab, he was able to push Mayweather against the ropes. That's where he's able to get in some right hands, some hooks to the body, and some other good work. But every time that he didn't throw that jab, Mayweather's able to move around and do what he wanted throughout the fight. If Oscar would have landed that jab more, you know that he would have done better overall. But just landing the jab and taking away the opponent's jab isn't the only way that Mayweather's going to be staying busy. He also has a leaping left hook that he likes to use. Well, he used to leap when he was younger. Look at him here against Genaro Hernandez. You see the way he leads with it, the way he comes in. And it's a devastating punch. He's actually out of punching range, and he's able to leap in and land that left hook. And it's the same thing here against Diego Corrales. You can see the way he's actually out of range, but he's so quick and so smooth. He leaps in and leads with that left hook the way a lot of guys would lead with a jab. And the way he does it is just absolutely beautiful. And he's been doing it his whole career. And he was doing it against Corrales here, scoring some devastating knockdowns with it. Eventually ended up scoring the TKO when Corrales' corner jumped in. But look at the way he uses it here against Maidana. Now, it's the same punch and he uses it at the same times, but he doesn't leap with it like he used to. He's not quite the same. Now, obviously, that's because Floyd's a little bit older now. He's fighting it a bit, so it's not quite the same. Now, Maidana, he's actually going to have to change a few things. And the first thing that he's going to want to do is be awkward. When he's trying to outbox Mayweather, he gets badly outclassed. And he needs to find a way to land some big shots and to get in some good work when Mayweather's hurt. That's the only way he's going to see some success. Perfect example of what he needs to do is his fight against Josecito Lopez. Now, he came into this fight, and when he tried to box Josecito throughout the first round. And Lopez, who's good but not great, was clearly outboxing. See there in the middle of the ring here, Maidana can't land the jab. Lopez is able to land his jab. He's able to come over the top with the right hand, and he's able to do the work that he wants to do when they're in the middle of the ring. Now, eventually, you can see they get up against the ropes here in the second round, and it's during an exchange, punches are thrown, and Maidana is able to land that big right hand over the top. It catches him on the temple, and it starts all the trouble for him. It's after he's able to do that that the whole fight changes. He's hurt for the whole rest of the second round and the third round. You can see Maidana is able to come in here, and this is when he gets some work in. He lands some combinations, pushes him up against the ropes. That was when he was able to get things in. But when they both came in and they were fresh, he wasn't able to land no shots. Now, once Lopez started to recover, end of the third round, he was actually able to come back here. He's going to land a big right hand in this exchange right towards the end of the third round. You can see that one hurt Maidana. Backs him up, sends him against the ropes. Throughout the fourth round, it was the same thing. Lopez had recovered from that big shot he took in the second, and he came out, and it was actually the best work he did at a fight. He was able to hurt Maidana a couple times. Backed him up against the ropes, really put some good work in. He was in the middle of the ring the whole time. Maidana really didn't have an answer for him. If you're not able to outbox Josecito Lopez, there's no way in the world you're going to stand a chance of outboxing Floyd Mayweather. So just thinking that he's going to come in there when they're both fresh and get his work in and do some things isn't realistic. Now later on in the fight, of course, in this one, Maidana was able to score the late round KO. But again, that was because of a big shot that he landed in the fifth round. You can see right here, he's going to come over the top with a right hand, hurts him, puts him down, and after that, he's able to finish up. But he wasn't able to outbox him. He had to come in and land a big shot that he would catch Lopez during an exchange. That's the same type of thing he's going to have to try to do against Mayweather. Now against Broner, well, Broner's a better boxer than Lopez. So in this one, he wasn't just able to catch him in exchange. He actually had to be awkward. Now you look at that right hand that he landed there. That was the big right hand early in the fight, the angle that came from. That was a really awkward angle. You don't see that a lot. And that's what hurt Maidana, caught him on the temple, and then he was able to, hurt Broner, caught him on the temple, and he was able to get him against the ropes and do some shots. Left hook here. Now look at this. This is the same type of thing. Look at how awkward this is. Look how far away they are. Look at his footwork. And he just leaps in with his hands down, and he's able to catch him with that big left hook. Same thing. That's where he hurts him. Then he's able to get up against the ropes, and he's able to do some real good work. But it's because of those big shots that he was able to land. And it was only because against Broner, he was throwing him at an awkward angle. Mayweather, same thing. He uses that awkward angle on that punch to get over the way they roll that shoulder. And that's what he's going to have to do here. Now, obviously, Mayweather's a little bit better than Broner. He took the shot better, and he didn't. Now, the last thing Maidana's going to want to have to do if he wins this fight is be effective. Now, I know that sounds crazy because everybody needs to be effective. But what he needs to do is actually be effective when he gets the fight where he wants to get it. See, Maidana's a pressure fighter. He's going to want to get inside, get up close, and land shots. And he wasn't able to do that as much as people think in this first fight. After he landed that first big punch, it didn't take Floyd long to figure out the angles. Look how he dips under the right hand. He leans inside. He leans back, shifts his weight, rolls the shoulder. Look at a lot of those punches are missing. Every now and then, Maidana's able to land a shot here and there. But for the most part, even when he's in close, those punches are missing. And the reason for that is he smothers his work. Look how close he is. I mean, he's almost chest to chest with Floyd a lot of times here. And that's just not going to be the spot where you're going to be able to get your best work done. Look at the footwork. He gets in so close that sometimes Mayweather's leg is actually in between his own legs. When you're that close to a guy, a defensive master like Floyd's going to be able to feel the way your weight shifts, feel how you turn, feel how you roll, and he's going to be able to know everything that's coming before you throw the punch. That's how he's just able to dip his shoulder and move around. Even the punches that land, he takes the steam off of with his footwork. But he needs to take a page out of the playbook from Cotto. Look at the way Cotto's able to apply pressure but still land. Look at here, I was able to land shots up against the ropes. It's all about the distance. He's not smothering his work, and he's effective because of it. So after looking at the clips, it's going to be easy to see we're going with Mayweather on this one. Pretty much think he's going to walk away with the fight. Now that he got all the experience from being in the rematch, everything that he's going to be able to do, should be an easy win. To be honest, I think that's a big reason why he's taking it. There were some people who thought that he didn't legitimately win the first fight or didn't, dominate people like he usually does. And he's a big guy about his legacy and his ego, and he's going to want to come out there and he's going to want to prove all those guys wrong, and he's going to want to just be firmly in control of his second fight. And I think he will be, right from the opening bell. Will it even see the closing bell? That's up for debate. One of the things you want to keep in mind out of his training camp, there have been reports, I think it was actually an interview that I saw him give, where he said that in the training camp for this fight, he's going to rest more, he's going to spar less, and he's actually going to try and put a little bit more muscle on through lifting weights and things like that. He made a joke right afterwards about how that's because Maidana's an MMA fighter and he likes to wrestle and things like that. But honestly, I think it speaks to the way that he's going to approach this fight, the way he's actually going to be in there and execute. And if he's got more muscle on, he doesn't want to be pushed around. He wants to be stronger because he doesn't want to get pushed up against the ropes. He doesn't feel the need to dance around the ring. He's going to be able to dominate him on there, right on the inside, in the middle, with just slight movements and shifts. To be honest, I think he's going to go for the KO on this one too. I think he saw that it's there. He saw that Maidana's so hittable and he can be hurt. So don't be surprised if he goes for it. The other thing is Maidana said that he's in camp and he's throwing a ridiculous amount of punches, 140 punches around, 120 punches around, things like that. That's just going to offer more opportunities for Floyd. And if they're not up against the ropes and he's smothering his work and everything, he's just not going to be effective. So Floyd's going to be able to walk away with this one. Should be an easy victory. The line's neg 750. That's a lot. The line in their first fight was neg 800. Nothing's 100%, obviously. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But this is pretty much as sure as you're going to get. Floyd should be able to come out there and dominate this one, no problem. So we're definitely going with Mayweather for the win. As always, got the comment section down below. Share any thoughts, questions, keep the conversation going, anything like that. You know, we always look forward to hearing from you guys.